Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I'm half a hockey fan.
Hi, Fred. How are you today?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It feels like a million years since we've done this.
Yeah,
I know it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels much longer.
It does.
I think it's just because it's been so jam-packed both in the hockey world and in real life. I've been doing so much stuff.
Yeah, it's been a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah,
sure.
We've had house guests and I've been going out to trivia nights and I've been doing stuff with friends, and then trying to watch hockey on top of it all has been like 2 full-time jobs on top of not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been holding down the fort with the job. I've been holding down the fort with hockey.
Yep. Job and birding. I got that covered.
Exactly. So yeah, divide and conquer. That's us. So before I get into all of the hockey stuff, I need to make an update on something that I'm sure has been bothering nobody except for me for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So the last time we recorded, I made a big deal about how Mikko Rantanen said after the playoffs that he wasn't injured. And then I said that we'd talk about it later, only I never talked about it later.
I mean, yeah.
So now it's later, I guess.
Technically, you're still in the right.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm doing that. So Mikko tore his MCL at the Olympics, and we didn't know that until now.
Okay.
Or until 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
So Jim Nill said that he thinks that Mikko really needed another week or two before he came back, and he hasn't been himself since then, which, no shit, obviously.
Right.
So the thing is apparently Mikko has this mentality that if you can play, then you are not, in fact, injured.
Oh, one of them peoples. Yep.
Yes. According to an Avs fan on Reddit, he said something very similar about not being injured circa 2019 and then had surgery to repair whatever was going on, pretty much immediately after he said that. And another Reddit poster said that he has said something along the lines of can't be injured if you can play. So, yeah, when he said after the playoffs, I'm not injured, and then everyone was like, yeah, he's not injured, he's just lazy. He meant that, he's not injured in the sense that he can play. But no, he tore his MCL and it's still healing. So,
right.
Yeah. So anyway, Mikko Rantanen doing his best. All right. So now that we've cleared that up, let's look at some hockey. And we're going to start with the PWHL.
Okay. Yeah.
We've been following that a bit.
I haven't. I for as excited and into the PWHL as I am, I'm just whatever.
We've watched a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But
yeah.
I was expecting more engagement from me, but it turns out I'm just too tired to watch more hockey.
I think you just run out of steam by the time the playoffs roll around. And
for sure.
You're half a hockey fan.
Yeah.
You maybe have half a season in you, and that's valid.
Right. I have to spread it out.
Maybe next year you just watch the playoffs.
I mean, I have thoughts about that. You know how people talk about playoff hockey fans or whatever that only show up? Mm-hmm. I think it's fair to show up at the conference finals, honestly.
I think that's fine. I mean, I would show up for the whole playoffs if I was a playoff fan, but... Yeah,
well, I'm saying just a conference final forward fan.
Okay.
I'm not going to judge those people anymore. I think it's fine.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, that's you, and that's okay. So anyway, back to the PWHL. The biggest news is that we have a new Walter Cup champion. The Minnesota Frost, who had won the Walter Cup for the first 2 years in the league that the league was established, was knocked out in the semifinals. So the 2 teams that made it to the finals were the Ottawa Charge and the Montreal Victoire. For anyone who doesn't know, in the PWHL, a series is 5 games instead of 7 games. So in the first game of the series, the Victoire were trailing the Charge by a goal, but with less than 3 seconds left in regulation, defender Nicole Gosling scored the game-tying goal and forced overtime. Fun fact, she's apparently distantly related to Ryan Gosling.
Oh, I was wondering if she's related to Kate Gosling.
No, that's Gosling.
Ah.
Different. Fun fact for the listeners, I was her bodyguard at a book signing once many years ago.
Oh, Kate Gosling.
Kate Gosling.
That's right.
Yes. She is just as terrible as you think she is. 2.5 minutes into the extra period, Abby Rock scored her second goal of the night to give the Victoire the win. The second game also went to OT, where Maggie Flaherty scored the game winner for the Victoire, but Ottawa kept themselves alive by winning Game 3 at home. Montreal opened the scoring and led the game 1-0 for a while before Ottawa tied it up. It looked like this one might go to OT as well, but with 54 seconds left in the game, Ottawa's Rebecca Leslie scored the go-ahead goal to give the Charge the win. These were all exciting games.
Awesome.
Like lots of last-minute goals for like game tying or go-ahead, like just coming down to the final minute. Like it was fun hockey to watch.
Yeah. Well, good.
Wednesday was another must-win game for Ottawa if they wanted to keep their playoff hopes alive, but the Victoire came to play. Abby Rock opened the scoring in the second period and then scored a shorthanded jailbreak goal in the third period. Maggie Flaherty and Lena Lungblong, I'm probably saying that wrong, added 2 more goals to the board, but that was just gravy because Anne-Renee Debienne stopped 23 shots for her second playoff shutout, and the final score was 4-0. Ottawa was eliminated in the finals for the second year in a row, and the Victoire were victorious.
Well, as they should be.
I mean, it's right in the name.
Right?
So unsurprisingly, Marie-Philippe Poulin was named the Alana Kloss playoff MVP. She was tied for the postseason lead with 8 points, 4 goals, and 4 assists. Interestingly, the person she tied with was her line mate, Abby Rock. And then rounding out the top 3 was their third line mate, Laura Stacey, who was also Poulin's wife.
Well.
So that's just a very dominant line, it turns out.
Yeah, it turns out.
There's actually a video of Poulin beckoning Rock over to join her and Stacey for a wife line photo. She's like, come here, wife line, wife line. And there's like a video of it and went up online. And there were definitely some men on the internet who were very triggered by that.
I've heard there are some men on the internet.
Yeah, triggered men on the internet. News at 11. However, there were also a lot of other funny and delightful people making comments like, now Marcus is really confused.
Yeah.
So that was really great. Poulin also did the most Canadian hockey player thing ever and filled the Walter Cup with Molson Canadian Tall Boys and drank it out of the cup. The whole team celebrated on the ice, drinking beer out of the cup. It was very evocative of 2010 when the Canadian women's team won Olympic gold, and an 18-year-old Poulin caused a huge controversy by smoking a cigar and drinking a beer on the ice with her teammates.
Yeah, I love that attitude.
It's so good. There's a great photo circulating of Poulin and a teammate smoking cigars juxtaposed with 18-year-old Poulin smoking a cigar with teammate.
Yep.
And she looks basically exactly the same. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's just so cool. Like, I'll never be as cool as her.
No comment.
No, it's fine. I understand that. It's totally okay.
Yeah. No, that's good. I'm glad. It seemed like a good time. I'm glad there's a lot of support. And yeah. New teams coming and all that fun stuff.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
But will we?
We will. We definitely will.
Okay.
I just have one more fun fact from the playoffs of the PWHL. So the PWHL had WAG jackets, much like the NHL does, but they also had matching HAB jackets for husbands and boyfriends. Because WAG is wives and girlfriends, HABs is husbands and boyfriends. So it was really nice inclusivity. They all like matched and were thematic. There's a great photo of Haley Skamura's partner, Nick, proudly pointing with both thumbs to the back of his jacket that has Skamura's last name across the back. So seeing dudes wearing their ladies' names on their back, I don't know, it's just cool.
It is.
It's different.
Yeah.
And I like it.
But were they better style wise than some of the WAG jackets this year?
They were, honestly. Yeah,
That's
they
good.
were definitely a little better. All right. So new franchises. I am going to talk about it. See?
All right.
I told you.
Well, look at that.
So next year's PWHL playoffs are going to be even more competitive because the league has added 4 new teams. Those new teams will be in Detroit, Las Vegas, Hamilton, Ontario, and San Jose. We had already confirmed Detroit in our last episode, I believe, but the other three were still just like rumored at the time.
But they were the right rumors.
It turns out. I'm super bummed we won't be getting a team in Denver, but the way I understand it, they just couldn't make it work logistically. Ball Arena is already home to the Denver Nuggets, obviously the Avs, and also the Colorado Mammoth, which is a professional lacrosse team, and it's a major concert venue. So kind of no room for a new team to go in there. And then they explored other arena options in town, but there were none that
I can't imagine.
Capacity standards or the quality standards.
Yeah. Well, bummer.
It is a bummer, but I am glad that it seems like the PWHL is being like very picky about where they're putting their teams and like, they want support from the NHL in the different cities. And I don't know. I just think that they're handling it really well.
Well, it's a business. They got to kind of plan these things and make sure.
It is. So Detroit is going to play in Little Caesars Arena, which is where the Red Wings play.
Pizza.
Pizza. The Vegas team will play in T-Mobile Arena, where the Golden Knights play.
Can you hear me now?
And PWHL San Jose will play at the SAP Center, where the Sharks play.
We make things.
I was wondering what you're going to do with that one.
I don't know. I am familiar with SAP, but not
their slogan.
Not their slogan, no.
Sorry, I surprised you with that one.
Yep.
It is awesome that the women are getting to play in NHL level facilities and that the interest is high enough to support it.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. No, honestly, I feel like, I don't know, call me crazy, but I feel like it could start to rival popularity of men's hockey for a couple of reasons, like in person or something. I don't know.
I mean, it just keeps building in popularity.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there are definitely the salty dudes on the internet who are like, it's just not as good as men's hockey. And it's a different game.
It's just different. That's all.
Different.
You just have to sit with it for a moment.
It's still fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's still super cool.
Yep.
Hamilton does not have an NHL team, but they do have a newly renovated TD Coliseum. And that venue was originally known as Cops Coliseum when it opened in 1985. And it was expressly built to NHL capacity and specifications in the hopes that the city would be able to acquire their own NHL franchise. But the problem is it's really geographically close to both Toronto and Buffalo. And those teams were like, no, you can't have an NHL team there.
Oh, okay.
So, because they didn't want to dilute the fandoms,
Sure.
basically. So there was a billionaire named Jim Basil who made several attempts to get teams there. He tried to buy the Nashville Predators. He tried to purchase the Phoenix Coyotes when they went bankrupt in 2009. And then he was also trying to acquire the Atlanta Thrashers, but they became the Winnipeg Jets 2.0 instead. And so he eventually gave up. So now the PWHL team is going to get to use this venue that was expressly designed for the NHL team and which had a $300 million gut renovation just last year.
Nice.
So it's like their own arena.
In Hamilton. What's the name of it?
It's called the TD Coliseum.
Digital when you want it, human when you need it.
Oh, Jesus.
I looked that up.
Of course you did. So we still have a long way to go in getting salaries up for the players, but I'm super stoked that the facilities seem to be a big priority for the league.
Yeah. No,
that's awesome.
That's great.
No names have been announced for the teams yet, but we do have color schemes. As we mentioned last time, Detroit will be black and silver with red and white accents. Las Vegas is going to be green and gold / yellow.
All right.
My high school colors were green and gold.
I was blue and gold and white, I think.
Yeah. I mean, green and gold can work.
It just, it's going to really depend on that green.
And the gold, really, because the Vegas Golden Knights gold is pretty gross.
Yeah, if they come at me with hunter green and
mustard.
And mustard, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be into it.
I'm just hoping for glitter. It's Vegas. Go over the top.
There should be glitter.
Give me glitter. Give me glitter helmets.
Everything.
Give me all of it.
Yep.
So if it's glitter, I'm into it. San Jose is orange, blue, and white. And Hamilton is gold, maroon, and cream. And it's probable that the teams won't have names for their first season and will just be playing their city names like the original 6 PWHL teams. But they might surprise us. So who knows? I imagine people will spend the summer wildly speculating about the names and being extremely disappointed when either they A, don't happen, or B, do happen and are stupid.
Yeah, they're going to come up with something awesome over the summer. And everyone's going to be like, it's got to be this. It's the best name. And then they're going to be like, it's the blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be lame. It's going to be like some AI generated nonsense.
Yeah, that's what I worry about. Yep. Although, I mean, the PWHL is better than the NHL.
True.
About naming.
Yeah.
I still have not forgiven the Sirens for being named after the Wee Woo Sirens.
The Wee Woos, yeah. That's a huge swing and a miss. They can fix that.
They should just rebrand.
They can fix that.
They can just rebrand.
No one will care.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just pretend like the other thing never happened.
Except siren enthusiasts.
Well, yeah, they might care, but they'll get over it.
People that collect wee woos.
And I'm sure there are those people because people collect everything.
Yep.
The big question I keep seeing from people is, will there be enough players to have 12 teams and still maintain the quality of hockey? The league has taken that into account and believes that the women's hockey pipeline is deep enough. There are a lot of talented women coming out of the NCAA, and there are plenty of European players looking to make the jump to North America. The 2026 draft eligibility list came out on May 12th, and 236 players have declared for the draft. To put that in perspective, the NHL typically has 224 players in their draft every year. So
it sounds like enough, probably.
Yeah, that's plenty because there's fewer teams.
Right. And there's more people.
Well, so
I guess people don't need to worry about that.
I guess not. Included in the draft this year will be 5 gold medalists from the women's U.S. Olympic hockey team. There's some really recognizable names in there. Layla Edwards, who was so impressive at the Olympics, she was named to the Media All-Star team. Tessa Janica, who scored the OT game-winning goal in the gold medal game at the 2025 World Championships. Kirsten Sims, who we talked about on the podcast last year in 2025, she was in the Frozen 4 game and there was a penalty shot and she scored it to tie up the game and then also scored the game winner in OT. Abby Murphy, who had that super cool assist that we talked about earlier this year.
Yep.
Caroline Harvey, who I could do an entire podcast about because she's so talented and awesome. There will also be 2026 Olympians in the draft from Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Sweden, and Switzerland, including Andrea Brownlee, who was named best goalkeeper in Milan and was crucial in earning Switzerland the gold medal.
Cool.
And Laura Fortino also declared for the draft at age 35. She won gold with Team Canada all the way back in 2014 and also took silver with the team in 2018. And she also played for Italy in the 2026 Olympics. I mean, she's only 10 years younger than I am. So good for her.
Men could never.
I could never, but also men could never. So,
35, still going.
35, still going. She's crushing it.
Yep.
So I do feel like this year I did have a hard time being too invested in the PWHL because I didn't want to get overly attached to any teams in case Denver got one.
Yeah, you're ready to sign on to Denver.
Yeah, I just want a local team. That's all I want. I love the Stars and I love Philly, but they're so far away.
Yeah, they're not here.
They're not here.
Nope.
And I would just like to see my teams on a more regular basis. But the PWHL has been clear that they won't be expanding for a while longer. So I really think next year what I need to do is prioritize the PWHL even over the NHL and just watch more games because I have so many individual players that I like, but I haven't really connected with a team yet, a style or I just haven't watched enough to really vibe with anybody. So I need to really dial in and watch that more consistently next year.
And they're going to probably poach players, right?
Yeah, probably.
Right?
With the expansion.
They're going to steal people from teams.
Yeah,
next year is really the year to figure out who you like.
Right. Yeah, because people I like might be on different teams next year. So
man, if they mess up the Golden Eyes, I'll be pissed.
You certainly will be. We have Golden Eyes merch.
I do like them.
Yeah, no, they are fun. All right. So now that we've talked about the PWHL, let's switch our attention to Worlds for a minute.
Okay.
The IIHF World Championship kicked off on May 15th and runs through May 31st. And this annual international hockey tournament is held in Switzerland this year. So Worlds overlaps with playoffs every year. So you typically only see players compete if they weren't in the playoffs or sometimes if they get knocked out early. So with the Penguins in the playoffs this year, Team Canada decided to award the C to Macklin Celebrini since Sid wasn't there to wear it. But then Sid surprised everyone by deciding to fly to Switzerland and join the team after the Pens got eliminated and one of the players on the team got injured, even though he's 87 million years old.
I was going to say men can never accept Sidney Crosby.
Sidney Crosby isn't a man. He's a god.
True.
Sidney Crosby transcends gender.
He does.
He's just a perfect specimen of human.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And he would deny that because he's humble, but we all know the truth. But anyway, he has already played the Olympics this year. He's gone into the playoffs and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to do Worlds, even though I'm ancient by hockey standards.
Mm-hmm.
So some people felt like Sid would get the C back, but others felt like Sid would insist on Mac keeping it. And while we don't know exactly what happened, there was a player-led meeting and it ended up with Mac keeping the C. And obviously my theory is that Mac was like, here, Sid. And Sid's like, absolutely not. And everyone's like, whatever Sid says goes. You're the captain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a little bittersweet for me because Sid's been the captain of everything since I started watching hockey. He was still pretty early in his career when I started watching, but he was already the captain and has been the captain. And watching him start the process of passing the torch is honestly makes me emotional.
Start the process. It's being passed.
Yeah.
This process is underway.
Listen, I'm coping with things emotionally over here. I literally have tears in my eyes. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. I think it's the menopause. Anyway, like he has said recently, he has no plans on retiring anytime soon, and he's going to play hockey as long as his body will let him. But
he's going to be like Yager.
Yager. Yeah.
Not Jaeger from
right.
Pacific Rim.
Yes, different. Yeah, no, he's. I wouldn't be surprised if he played till he was like 45, but
I think people will let him.
They will, as long as he can still play. But yep. God, I mean, just seeing somebody else be a captain is kind of crazy. But it's also kind of cute to see them together. Like last night, I saw a video of them and they're looking at an iPad on the bench together. Somebody was like, Sid's putting on the parental controls. And I'm like, Sid doesn't know how to use an iPad.
I was going to say, Max teaching him how to like get to do something on the iPad.
Yeah, no, he's like, ooh, we can watch our plays back? That's neat.
He's like, yeah, you just got to click here and do that and swipe this and then look.
Yeah, no, it's very cute. I also saw a great meme on Instagram where it was like a photo of them sitting side by side and it said the C on Macklin's jersey stands for child captain and the A on Sid's jersey stands for adult captain. And I'm just choosing to take that as that's how I look at it now.
Yeah.
Another thing happening at Worlds is back from the dead is Alexander Barkov. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was at Worlds?
He is.
Really?
He's competing for Finland.
Oh, is it still going on?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Through May 31st, like I said, like a minute and a half ago.
All
right. He missed the entire NHL season after having reconstructive surgery on his ACL and MCL following an injury at training camp. But he was medically cleared to play in the tournament. So it's really great to see him out on the ice again. And even though Dallas went out in the first round, none of our Finns joined him, presumably because they are all dead and dying.
Yeah.
So I'm glad everybody's resting up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's good for Barkov, I guess. He's kind of dead to me now. Like, I haven't seen him all year. I'm just like, I don't even, he's not in my purview anymore.
Literally, it's why I brought him up on the podcast, just so you would remember he existed next year, maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm so done with the Panthers. So, like, whatever.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Things change rapidly around here.
Well, they do. We used to be pro Panthers.
We did like 2 years ago. And now we're like, fuck it. So, oh boy. All right. Award nominations. Last episode, we talked a lot about those. One more category has been announced since then, and that is the Jim Gregory General Manager of the Year Award. Jim Nill is not in the mix this year, which is fine. He won it for the last 3 years running, and he's the only person to win it 3 times at all, much less in consecutive years.
Sure.
So I guess it's nice of him to let somebody else have a turn. Anyway, the nominees are Bill Guerin of the Minnesota Wild, Chris McFarland of the Colorado Avalanche, and Pat Verbeek of the Anaheim Ducks. Mostly in this category, I am pulling for anyone who is not Bill Guerin.
As we would, yes.
Yes.
We're a pro anti Bill Guerin podcast.
We're pro being anti Bill Guerin.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Speaking of awards, we have found out one of the winners. Matthew Schaefer has been awarded the 2026 Calder Memorial Trophy as the NHL Rookie of the Year, surprising exactly 0 people.
I think he probably should have won it.
I mean, yes. The way the voting works is that members of the Professional Hockey Writers Association submit ballots to determine the winner. Each voter selects their top 5 candidates and points are given according to their rankings. So first place gets 10 points, second place gets 7, third is 5, fourth is 3, and 5th is 1. There were 198 voters and every single one of them put Matthew Schaefer in first place on their ballot. He was the unanimous choice, and only one other player has achieved that ever, and that was Teemu Selanne in the 1992-1993 season. And to put it in perspective, Selanne got his unanimous vote after a rookie season where he scored 76 goals and 56 assists for 132 points in 84 games.
They just had to pick an award for that guy that year, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. He never had he never hit that kind of points or goals again.
Yep.
After his rookie season. Like, he was a great player, but I mean, that was just an insane thing. So that's the level of good you have to be to get a unanimous vote. And Schaefer did that as a defenseman, which is crazy. But I also want to give a little shout out to our friend Justin Ritzkovian. He was tied for 13th place in the Calder race after receiving a single point.
Hey.
Which means one writer ranked him 5th place. And you know what? That writer is a real one.
Yep.
There are undeniably great rookies this year beyond Schaefer. You have Demidov, Seneca, Dobish, Volstead, Nikishin, just to name a few.
Dobish, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Because he played at the end last year, I guess.
Yeah, and he's older, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. But yeah, no, our spicy little meatball deserves some recognition too after making a name for himself this year, mostly by yelling at the Oilers.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he got that 1 point. So he deserves it.
I agree.
And Schaefer, his receiving of the award was like a big deal. He was on Good Morning America and his dad and his brother surprised him with it. And there were a lot of tears. And yeah, it was, I mean, very sweet. So
it's just that awkward family reunion again with the Schaefers.
Again, the Schaefers crying. News at 11. All right. My next section, hirings and firings, because that is something that happens a lot this time of year. And this year has been no exception. On May 13th, Craig Berube was let go from the Maple Leafs. Who will William Nylander torment now?
I don't know. Yeah, Willie was vibing with Craig, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he really was trying to make him miserable.
Oh, well.
I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like maybe they were just joshing, but it seemed like mostly he just wanted to harass him and was having a great time with it.
Yeah.
And now they've took his toy away and he's going to be very sad.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're hoping that is part of like quelling the dumpster fire, but I don't feel like removing like fire from fire like makes fire go away or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like...
Yeah, I mean, they only gave him 1 year with them. It's like the coaching isn't the problem necessarily.
Right.
Things are just bad there. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could step in and fix this whole
I feel
situation.
like John Tavares' amulet is not doing its job.
I think it is for him, but not for anybody else.
I mean, that's true because I haven't thought about him like all year. So it's just like shielding him.
He had a pretty good year too.
Did he?
I think so.
I don't know. I haven't thought about him. So
Maybe.
The amulet made him invisible.
Let's just say he had a good year.
All right. Sure. Why not? Let's say it. That's fine. On May 18th, the Vancouver Canucks relieved head coach Adam Foote of his duties along with his entire staff. So they're apparently going for a clean slate over there, which is probably a good thing, honestly.
I don't know. I feel like there's still tarnish on that slate somewhere.
Well, they've done some restructuring at like the management level too, but people are a little concerned about how much autonomy they have,
right?
Because I think it's the owner tends to meddle a lot to the point where the Sedins who have taken over, I think, hockey operations were giving an interview and one of the reporters was like, so how much are you allowed to actually do? And they're like, we are totally allowed to do stuff, like all the stuff. And everyone's like, okay.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, I don't know. The fact that they're changing up management and wiping out the coaching staff entirely.
Scorched earth campaign.
Listen, that's a rebuild.
That is. Yeah. Maybe.
And a rebuild that doesn't focus just on the team, but focuses on like everything.
Yeah.
Like it's a toxic organization and it has been. So
nice.
Maybe they are trying to cut out the rot. I don't know.
Maybe they could just do a Swaparooski with the Maple Leafs.
I mean, it's a possibility.
Right.
Well, there's another fired coach in Canada. On May 14th, Chris Knobloch was officially fired from the Edmonton Oilers as head coach, but it was super awkward because we all knew it was coming. On May 12th, the world's oldest looking 38-year-old Frank Saravalli posted that the Edmonton Oilers had sought permission to interview Bruce Cassidy, even though Knobloch was still the head coach at the time. But Vegas denied them the opportunity. And I'm sure they were trying to be discreet, but once it was leaked, they kind of had to let Knobloch go.
Yeah, it's kind of...
They couldn't be like, we were just, we just had a question for him. Like it was about something else. Like, never mind.
Yeah, that's kind of a shitty move.
Yeah, it was. You know, people don't know how it got out. They're like, did the Edmonton office leak it? I don't think so, because that was a bad look for them. Did the Vegas office leak it? Did Cassidy's team leak it? Like, who knows? So either way, it's a lot. And in fact, Vegas has not given permission to Cassidy to speak to any teams about coaching opportunities right now because they fired him and he has 1 year left on his contract. And so technically, like, he's still under contract with them, even though he's fired.
Right.
So they're still paying him his, I think, $4.5 million. But, you know, they could release him for his contract, but they have said no specifically to the Oilers and to the LA Kings. But there are other teams that are looking for coaches too. And it sounds like the Vegases are like, no thanks. They've said right now that they're focusing on the playoffs, but the word on the street is that they really don't like that Pete DeBoer was fired from them with 1 year left to go and then immediately came to Dallas and was awesome for 3 years. So
until he wasn't.
Until he crashed and burned.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's certainly weird. I would take, man, if I'm in a contract with $4.5 million for the next year and I don't have to work, no. Just do I want to go to Edmonton? No, I'm going somewhere cool because I have all this money and all this free time.
Yeah, you'll catch me in Fiji.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to Edmonton.
Not going to Edmonton,
and you can't make me.
Absolutely not.
You would have to pay me $4.5 million to go to Edmonton, actually. So.
I'd take less, but yes, I get your point.
We also have some organizational shenanigans to talk about. After the Knights, well, this is kind of a spoiler alert, but after the Knights win the series against Anaheim, John Tortorella refused to attend his post-game press conference. And the word on the street was that he was upset that Braden McNabb was suspended for a game after he concussed Ryan Poehling. The only players who came out for press that night were Brett Howden and Mitch Marner, who were only available for a brief period of time. Mitch joked, question mark, that they had a bus in 10 minutes and that Torts would leave them behind. Mm-hmm. There was only one chair at first, and Mitch was like, "That's okay, I'll stand," because he was like ready to run the Torts.
He really didn't want to miss that bus.
He really did not want to miss that bus. He did not want to get. He's like, "I'm on Torts' good side. I do not want to get on his bad side." Like
that's some I missed the bus once or twice in elementary school energy.
Yes, and my dad yelled at me.
It was super traumatizing.
It was terrible. So the NHL did not like this very much and ordered some pretty hefty sanctions. Torts was personally fined $100,000, and the Knights forfeited their second-round draft pick for this year's draft for, quote, flagrant violations of post-game media regulations. The league said Vegas could appeal, and everyone assumed that the punishment would be reduced because Vegas is kind of like the favorite child. But after an appeal, it stood. So
yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
Apparently, it's been an ongoing thing with the team. Like the NHL has said to the team, like, you are not following the rules that you're supposed to.
Right.
According to the collective bargaining agreement, they need to make the dressing room open to the media at certain points, and they haven't been doing that. One of the players was supposed to be mic'd up and declined, and they don't really have the option to do that.
Yeah. I mean, those mic'd up suck, though.
I mean, they do, and they're not interesting. They take out all the interesting parts.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, that's kind of why I don't understand why the player would refuse to do it, because like they take out all the good parts and they can't be punished for anything that's like caught on the mic that's against the rules. Like that's in the CBA.
Right.
So there's kind of no reason to refuse.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. You got to wear a wire. That's kind of probably a pain in the ass.
I mean, it is probably. So
they obviously are too cool for school. And that would be like, what? I have to like wear this thing and then take it off and
It's just super annoying that they get this kind of punishment and then like Chicago gets nothing for covering up a sexual abuse scandal.
Well, I mean, I was going to say $100,000 in a draft pick seems so extreme based on, how the NHL regulates itself. Like, and they regulate themselves inconsistently, but it's never like this wild extreme.
Yeah, considering players will get fined like $2,700 for like concussing somebody or something.
Right. Like maybe like $25,000 for torts. Like we've seen that with like coaches over the.
We've seen torts get fined, I think, $50,000 for getting thrown out of the Tampa game one time.
But yeah, they've been made an example of for sure.
They have. And it's just because Bettman is like, the media makes us money, so you have to be made an example of. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But like, what about like moral issues?
Yeah.
But the NHL doesn't care about that.
No. It's all the capitalism.
Speaking of which, I forgot to write this down, but this just made me remember. Gary Bettman is apparently working on like cleaning up his image and like also, talking about all of the great initiatives that the NHL does, because the second season of Heated Rivalry is going to focus potentially on book 2 in the series. Mm-hmm. And in book 2 of the series, guess who the villain is?
Gary Bettman.
Not specifically Gary Bettman, but it is the NHL commissioner or the commissioner of the whatever hockey league is in the book, the MHL, I think.
Oh, no. Look at all these things we do. Oh, look at this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look over here.
Exactly. So he's like, I'm not going to give spoilers for the book, but he's evil. So yeah, no, Gary Bettman is, I guess, freaked out about it and is now trying to be like, no, look, we're great. Look at all these things we do. And people are not falling for it.
Gary Bettman's got to go.
He does. once, but he never will.
No, he'll die in whatever chair he sits in.
Exactly.
He might already be dead too.
He might.
Him and Gretzky might not be alive.
They might just be very realistic puppets.
You heard it here first.
On our conspiracy theory podcast. And then just a few miscellaneous bits of news. Charlie McAvoy had his in-person hearing for slashing Zach Benson in the first round of the playoffs and was issued a 6-game suspension. He did not appeal in the time window, so he will not play the first 6 games of next season.
Yeah, McAvoy, what a troublemaker, huh?
Yeah, who knew?
I don't know.
And then finally, Leon Bischel posted some photos of himself on his Instagram surfing for people who are into that sort of thing. As an old lady, I look at them and I'm like, oh, he's having a nice time. But you can look at them for whatever reasons you want to. That's not my business.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
He must have a very large surfboard.
I mean, I would imagine.
Probably a longboard.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about surfing.
Me either. So yeah, that's what's been going on in the hockey world. That's like a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff.
I'm sure I haven't even covered all of it, but
probably not. There are some other things, I'm sure.
I'm sure there were.
I briefly thought of something, but now I can't think of it. So
that's okay. I do have some more news to talk about at the very end of the podcast because I saved some of the fun stuff for
fun news at the end.
Fun news at the end.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. But right now we're going to talk about actual hockey games.
Don't forget to click like and subscribe.
Oh my God. So let's talk about round 2 of the playoffs because that's how long it's been since we recorded.
All right.
We were still in round 2.
What round are we in now?
We're in round 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
4 would have been more dramatic.
No. I mean, yeah. Okay. I don't know what that means. All right. Well, round 2, the last time we checked in, Carolina had already wrapped up their round 2 after sweeping the Flyers.
Yeah, they speed runned it.
Yeah, they speed ran their thing. Yeah, they swept their first 2 series. So they were sitting pretty, but there were 3 other series that had barely even started. So let's see how those went down. First, we have Montreal versus Buffalo. And the last time we recorded, this series was tied at 1 game apiece. Game 3 took place that same night, and while Tage Thompson got on the board just 53 seconds in, the Habs pretty much controlled the game after that. The final score was 6-2, with Montreal's 6 goals coming from 5 different players. But the MVP of the night was Jakub Jovic in goal. He has looked amazing this whole run.
Yeah.
The game wasn't even over yet, and he received a huge standing ovation from the crowd.
Oh, that was the game? Yeah.
That was that game. There's like this great shot from behind him of just like the crowd just going nuts. I think there was like 3 minutes left.
Yep.
And then he received another standing ovation when he came out after the game as the 3rd star of the night. And he just stood there sort of grinning and soaking it all in. Like he was just beaming and it was so sweet. It took a solid minute for the crowd to quiet down enough for the reporter to ask a question. And then the crowd started doing their Ole chant before he could even answer it. So he just smiled and waved some more and looked a little emotional. And then they started chanting his name and he looked even happier. It was just so nice.
Yeah.
And he gave a little speech and he said a few basic French words and they lost their shit.
Nice.
I was tearing up. I'm tearing up again. Fucking menopause. And
he did that thing like Dua Lipa, like learning Spanish for the Mexico concert.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone's like, we love you. You're one of us now.
He plays in a French Canadian market. You got to learn a little French Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just loved that he just took it all in and soaked it up. And he's been so fun and dynamic. And I'm glad he's lighting it up. He is also like a little shit stirrer. He has gotten, I think, 4 penalties over the course of these playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's...
that's close to a record.
He's certainly protective of that blue paint area.
He sure is. Yeah, he definitely patrols his crease.
He is attached to that blue paint.
Yeah, I saw somewhere last night, somebody was like, he is very protective of his crease and he happens to think his crease is a lot bigger than it actually is.
That's fine.
And it's, you know what? That's fine. That's
not everyone has great spatial perception.
Some people just have a bigger personal space bubble than everybody else. Yeah. And that's okay.
Although goalies probably have a pretty good spatial perception.
I mean, I would hope so. Not all of them, though. So for game 4, Buffalo switched goalies and put in Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen over Alex Lyon. And the Sabres tied up the series again at 2 games apiece. So they started UPL in game 5 again, but then the Habs dropped 5 goals on him in the first 2 periods. So Alex Lyon came out to finish that game, and Habs won 6-3. So then they started Alex Lyon in game 6, and then he let in 3 goals on 4 shots. So then they had to pull him halfway through the first for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. But UPL had a perfect game from then on out, and the Sabres had a crushing 8-3 victory. Honestly, some fun playoff hockey to watch, since a lot of times playoff hockey is very stingy.
I think watching Montreal is just generally fun. And I think the way Buffalo plays is pretty good too. So
so the series was tied up again, and that meant the Habs were once again going to game 7. And this one was much more tightly contested. I was actually at a trivia night while this was going on, but my sister's boyfriend and I were keeping up on the score. The Habs had a 2-0 lead after the first, but Buffalo scored in the second to make the score 2-1. And at that point, I predicted that Buffalo would tie it up and the game would end up 2-2, and then it would go into triple OT because these guys are dramatic bitches who really want to drag the series out as long as possible. I was almost right. They did tie it up, and it did go into OT at 2-2. But Alex Newhook scored 8.5 minutes into the first OT and sent the Habs to the conference finals. And sadly, this ended the Buffalo Sabres' improbable run of greatness.
Yeah.
Remember, in early December, they were in last place in the Eastern Conference.
I mean, there was so much chatter around how bad they were and what were they going to do.
Yes. And then the Heated Rivalry episode came out where they talked shit about Buffalo.
Yeah.
But then they went on a crazy run where they won 39 of the next 53 games, which was the best record of the NHL in that time period. And they ended up winning the entire Atlantic Division, which is amazing on its own, but especially when you consider that they were clawing their way out of a deficit.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Don't talk shit about Buffalo.
Don't talk shit about Buffalo on your gay hockey show.
Mm-mm.
Or your queer hockey show, actually. Ilya's bi. Okay. I don't want to do bi erasure. Okay. Anyway, I just really feel like this could be a turning point for the team in general. Like, it just feels like such a bonding experience for them.
Yeah, no, they seem to have like solidified some vibes.
Solidified vibes for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that Zach Benson kid, he's something to watch out for.
Yep.
So gotta love a hockey carny.
Yep. And that Lindy Ruff, he might be the guy.
They signed him for 2 more years. So
right.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And I feel like in December, people are like, maybe Lindy Ruff has got to go.
Yeah.
Right?
But
No, he's got to stay.
They love him.
Yeah.
So, but if anyone had to take down Buffalo, the Canadians are a great young team with a lot of promise who are going through kind of a comeback story of their own. The last time they played in a conference final was 2014. Lane Hudson was only 10 years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to see all these kids coming and reviving this franchise that's been kind of a little dull for a while.
Yeah, no, good for them. It's a great team. Everything's fun about them, the way they play, their cast of characters, their
spicy goalie,
their coach, the whole deal.
Oh, there's a great video of there was an OT game winning goal. I think it was the game 7 one, where all the players are kind of standing up to see him go towards the goal. And then Martin St. Louis is so small that he has to get up on the bench to see over the players. Yep. And it's so cute. And I love it so much.
Yeah.
All right. The next series we're going to talk about in round 2 is the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Anaheim Ducks. And when we last checked on this series, Vegas was ahead in the series 2-1. But Anaheim would tie it up later that night when we recorded with a narrow 4-3 victory. Mitch Marner didn't score a goal, but he did assist on all 3 Vegas goals because, as we all know, he is a playoff powerhouse.
Playoff powerhouse. That's the man you want on your team in the playoffs.
Playoff powerhouse, Mitch Marner. Oh. Unfortunately, that was the last time the Ducks would quack their way to victory this year.
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
Thanks. I thought it was funny too.
Yeah.
The Vegases went on to win games 5 and 6. Game 5 was a real nail biter. The Ducks tied it up with 3 minutes left in the third, but then Pavel Dorofeyev scored the game winner for Vegas in OT. Kevin Weeks has a very clever nickname for him.
Oh, yeah?
Pavel Skorofeyev.
Oh, wow.
And we know this because he was commenting on that game and he let us know about that nickname many, many, many times.
I mean, yeah, when you only got like 3 or 4 notes on your paper to read off of, you know.
He can't read.
Yeah, no, Kevin Weeks, man, that dude's got to go. I could do a whole podcast on why he sucks.
I'm sorry. Every single time he pops up on a broadcast, all I can think about is how he faked his own kidnapping.
Right.
Like, that's all I can think about.
That's crazy. That's a red flag.
That's crazy. Like,
it's like the reddest of red flags.
And we just go on with our lives, and like, he's just got a job and like does stuff and is like, haha, Pavel Skorofiev. And it's like, okay, fake kidnap victim.
Right.
Like, what?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
I'm sure he's a fine human, but
probably, yes. But it's just wild.
But he doesn't need to necessarily be on my television.
Right. Yeah. No, he can be somewhere else, and that's fine. Game 6, though, was less exciting as Vegas wrapped up the series with a 5-1 win. Like the Sabres, though, the Ducks should be proud of their turnaround this year. They had a strong start, but then kind of a brutal midseason slump, which left their playoff qualifications in doubt. But then they fought back and earned their spot, and they took down the Oilers in round 1. They have some fantastic young players with Leo Carlsson, Philadelphia enemy number 1, Cutter Gauthier, Olen Zellweger, Pavel Mintyov, and my favorite, Beckett Seneca.
Yeah.
So I also got to see their prospect, Roger McQueen, play in person recently, and he has a lot of promise. I wouldn't be surprised to see him crack the roster next year. If not at the start, then closer to playoffs.
Well, I think them pilfering the Rangers or whatever helped a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't, like, Chris Kreider, again, was invisible during the playoffs, but Trouba seems to have settled down. I'm not seeing so many elbows from him, but they seem to be providing a pretty stable veteran presence there.
Right.
Granlund's been great there.
Yep.
So I don't know. They seem to have put together a pretty good team, got some good chemistry.
I'm surprised we've talked about the Vegas Ducks game this long. I thought you were going to be like, and Vegas won, and then moving on to like.
No, I'm really trying to be a hockey podcast. So, but as for the Vegases, I could not care less about them, except that we stand John Tortorella in this house, and I do think it would be hilarious for Mitch Marner to win the Conn Smythe in his first year after leaving the Leafs. I would laugh for like 3 to 4 business days.
Absolutely, and if Torts wins the Cup this year.
After like coming in like 8 games from the end of the season.
Oh my God.
It would be fucking hysterical.
Right.
It'd be so crazy.
I'm okay if that happens.
I can't have Vegas win. I just can't have it. But
no, Vegas won't have won. Torts will have won.
Yeah, but then Torts winning means Vegas wins. I can't have it.
Yeah, I guess those two things go together.
They really do. But I don't know. It would be funny is all I'm saying. All right, so Colorado Avalanche versus Minnesota. The last time we checked in on this series, the Avs were up 2-1, and I was not super invested because, as always, I was rooting for Scott Wedgwood and only Scott Wedgwood.
Yeah.
The Wild had won Game 3 with Wedgwood getting pulled, and the Avs made the decision to start Mackenzie Blackwood, the other member of the Lumberyard, in the goal for Game 4. He turned in a solid performance, and the Avs easily won that one 5-2. Blackwood also got the start in Game 5, but after he let in 3 goals in the first period, Wedgwood was in the net at the start of the second. Wedgwood didn't let any goals in, but to be fair, Colorado defense played much better in front of him.
They do seem to respond when a goalie gets pulled.
They definitely do. It definitely changes their game.
Nate McKinnon is not okay with that.
No.
He's like, this reflects poorly on me.
Yes. Yeah. Me personally.
I'm going to lose my shit and be good now.
Yeah. No, it's so Blackwood faced, I think, 13 shots in the first period. Scott Wedgwood faced 7 shots in the remaining 2 periods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, the defense really locked that shit down. So halfway through the second, Colorado began to battle back from a 3-0 deficit with a goal from Parker Kelly. Jesper Wallstedt was standing on his head for Minnesota, but Jack Drury deflected one past him with 3.5 minutes left in the third. And then with 1.5 minutes left in the game, the Avs pulled Wedgwood, and almost immediately after, Nate McKinnon scored the game-tying goal. That sent the game to OT, where Marty Nicias delivered a pristine pass to Brett Kulak, who scored the game and series winner just 4 minutes in. And Kulak is pretty new to the Avs. He came over from the Oilers in February as part of a trade. He's a defenseman, and goal scoring is not necessarily his thing. He had not scored a single goal with Colorado since the trade. So what an exciting first goal for him with the team. Like, yeah, it was a pretty sick goal too.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I will say I did feel really sad for Wallstedt, who dove to get the puck and missed, and then just lay face down on the ice for a while.
Yeah.
Like, bummed for him. I mean, he was so great in the Star series. Like, I think we still would have struggled regardless, but he definitely kind of smothered our offense. Like, he had some amazing saves in that series.
Yep.
So he tried really hard, but, you know, the Avalanche once it's coming at you. Like,
avalanches are hard to stop.
They are.
From what I understand.
That is indeed true.
Yeah.
And they came back from a 3-0 deficit to win that game. And it was like the first time they've won a series at home since, I think, 2008, which is crazy.
Well.
So, yeah.
Good for them. I thought Minnesota looked great. I think they're going to be a big problem next year.
I mean, they're always a big problem, regardless of how they're playing. Their existence is a problem.
I don't know.
And that's how I feel.
I got a soft spot for Minnesota.
I mean,
not the team, but just
the state.
The state.
Yeah.
So as a result, the team kind of gets a pass for me.
All right, whatever. So that was a wrap for round 2. And then since we were off for 2 weeks, round 3 is already underway. So for the conference finals, the Western Conference finals, we have Colorado Avalanche versus Vegas Golden Knights, because we live in the second to worst hockey timeline.
I was going to say, we've seen or tried to watch some of these games, and like I don't know what happens to us, but like we don't make it through.
No, after the first period, we're like, you want to watch Jeopardy? I'm like, hell yeah. And then we're like, you want to watch another episode? We're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm playing on my phone. Someone scores a goal. I'm like, somebody scored a goal. What team? Okay, it was Avalanche, whatever.
It's very dull. It's very dull. I guess I hate this combo slightly less than I would a Vegas-Minnesota final matchup, mostly because of Scott Wedgwood.
Right.
So to make matters worse, Vegas has won the first 2 games of the series in Colorado, which is kind of a nightmare for them.
Yep.
Game 3 is going to take place in Vegas tonight, where the Avalanche will try to get their first win of the series. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, go Avs, I guess.
Go Avs, I guess.
Ew. At any rate, no matter who wins the series, I will be cheering for whoever wins the Eastern Conference.
I do like road win sweeps or whatever during the playoffs. So
those are fun.
So like if the Avs could win these next 2 games in Vegas, that's so funny. Like
that is
just to screw over your fan base, right? Like,
yeah, that's always fun.
Like, oh God, and we know how expensive the tickets are at Ball Arena for playoffs.
They're crazy.
Just 2 losses, bummer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Montreal Canadiens.
Hurricanes, Canadiens.
So on Thursday, the Hurricanes got to play hockey again for the first time in 12 days.
Yep.
They dispatched our beloved Flyers on May 9th and then had their first matchup with Habs on May 21st. And that's the longest break between rounds since 1919. And it might be the first time ever that 2 teams are facing each other where one team swept the first 2 rounds and the other team had to go to game 7 twice. But don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, that's a stat, I guess.
Yeah. So there was a lot of debate on rest versus rust and who would look better. And the people who were afraid Carolina might get rusty may have been right.
I know. I thought they weren't. I thought it was going to just like they were just going to be in the weight room and on the ice and just practicing nonstop and come out like even more devastating. But I don't know shit about sports, and I was wrong.
Game 1 was not great for Carolina. Seth Jarvis scored about 33 seconds in game 1, and we're like, hell yeah, where's the rust? But then 27 seconds later, Cole Caulfield tied the game for the Habs. And then that was like an onslaught. At the end of the first period, the Habs were up 4-1.
Yeah.
And a lot of us anticipated that there would be a goalie swap, but Brendan Moore stuck with Freddie Anderson for the rest of the game. And to his credit, he did look better after that. The second period, he didn't let in any goals, and the Canes did score another goal, so it was only 4-2. But in the third period, the Canes just couldn't seem to generate any offense. And then Uri Slavkovsky scored a couple of goals just for funsies, so the final score was 6-2.
Yeah. That
was pretty brutal.
Yeah. Him being a hockey player, Slavkovsky there, and like scoring goals, I don't know. There's something incongruent about it for me, and I just love that he is actually a good hockey player.
He's just very goofy.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's an interesting juxtaposition for sure.
Yeah.
So, but no, he's super talented. I think he was a first overall. So
yeah, and he can't get any dumber.
He can't. He said that in an interview, and I love him for that. So the first game did seem to help shake the rust off for the Canes because game 2 was last night, and they looked a lot better. Once again, Carolina struck first with a goal from Eric Robinson. Josh Anderson tied it up midway through the first, but Nikolai Ehlers restored the lead near the end of the second with some super fancy footwork. Like, it was a real, like, I don't know, him kind of dancing around. It was a little Duchesne almost.
A little Duchesne.
Mm-hmm. Josh Anderson scored again for the Habs in the third, and it was 2-2 at the end of regulation. In OT, the Habs had a bad dump in, and Jaden Chatfield picked up the puck, which made its way to Nick Ehlers, who trucked his way up the ice to score the game winner. I think they said he hit 19 miles an hour. Like, it was crazy how fast he was moving. And he said after the game that his dad is here to watch the games. I think his dad's from Denmark. He's from Denmark, so I'm assuming his dad came in from Denmark. And that just, I think, makes it all more special. So,
yeah, that was the Ehlers show, huh?
It really was. And yeah, they asked in the post-game interview, they were like, you're making some intense eye contact with the crowd. Is that something you usually do? He was like, not always, but like in the playoffs, it's really cool, especially in front of a home crowd. And they kind of showed him on his game-winning goal. And yeah, he was skating down, just like making eye contact with a bunch of people before crashing into the glass. And
nice.
Yeah, no, I'm sure like those people are like psyched about that. So
yeah, no, they looked much better. And yeah, I don't know how much of it I paid attention to, but
yeah, I mean, it didn't help that the Habs, again, their offense is not like sizzling. They're not getting a lot of shots off, and they've had that struggle throughout the playoffs. So the series is tied 1-1. We have not seen much from Logan Stankoven in this series, so I'm hoping that he emerges from hibernation.
I think it's
when they
really
play again tomorrow.
I mean, you haven't been putting the jersey on, so
it's been hot.
Hey,
All right.
I don't know anything about, superstitions, but I feel like not putting it on is a bad omen.
Okay, I'll put it on tomorrow, no matter what temperature it is.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's round 2 and round 3 covered.
All right.
And so, yeah, I was going to end with a game, but then I forgot to tell you about it. So we can do that next time.
We can do it anyway. I can freestyle.
No, because then I'd also have to freestyle, and I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm much better at improv.
Yeah, I need extensive notes. I had like 10 pages of notes for this podcast.
Wow.
So
I had 0.
Yeah, but that's because I do all the writing and you do all the technical stuff, we're a good team.
I just show up.
Exactly. And that's just, we complement each other. So I did save some of the fun news for the end so we could go out on a fun note.
This better be fun.
I think it's fun.
I'm so anticipatory.
All right. Well, one thing that I think is fun, you probably wouldn't think it's fun, but I like it. Did we know that Alex Ovechkin is like really smart?
Well, no, but he got some sort of pseudo doctorate or something, right?
No, not a pseudo doctorate.
Well,
so his long-term plan has been to earn a PhD in pedagogical sciences, and he's well underway. He has written a 145-page dissertation on hockey training methods, and he plans to defend it once his career ends.
I thought he already defended it successfully or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he's written it, though.
He's written it.
He's written it, but he's not going to defend it till his career ends.
Gotcha.
Because he wants to be able to put his full focus onto it.
Nice.
So yeah, he's going to do that. And so it's not going to be like an honorary doctorate or anything. He's actually earning a doctorate.
Yeah. I feel like there were some qualifications that came with the institution or something or what he was doing. But regardless, he's still apparently a lot smarter than I would have expected.
I mean, it's a hockey training dissertation, but it's still a 145-page dissertation.
Yeah. And you can be smart about things like that.
I tapped out after my bachelor's degree, so more power to him.
Yeah.
That's great. There's a great article about Eric Johnson and his post-playing career. Apparently, he had a job waiting for him in the Flyers front office, but he wanted to give broadcasting a try. And they told him to go do that for a year and see how he liked it. And he would still have a place in the front office after that if he wanted it. And then after Keith Jones, the president of hockey operations for the Flyers, saw EJ on TV, he reached out and said, don't do anything else. You're right where you're supposed to be.
Nice.
Which is so nice. And honestly, he's right. It's true. EJ is the best part of the ESPN coverage.
He, no question.
I mean,
no question.
By 20 miles.
I can't even think who ranks second to EJ.
Emily Kaplan also shows up on ESPN. And those two people are basically the only reason to watch ESPN.
I'll Emily Kaplan, number 2.
Yeah.
And then there's the rest of them.
And then there's the rest of them.
Yep.
I could not care less about the rest of them. Some of them I actively dislike.
I would put TJ Oshie at the bottom.
You can see the difference between a good hockey commentator and a bad hockey commentator if you put EJ up next to TJ.
Yeah. Or you just watch Kevin Weeks.
Right.
I'm going to just drag him the entire episode, apparently.
I will drag him for the rest of my life. It's fine. So, yeah. No, EJ's so natural. He's so great with the players.
Yes.
He has such a great rapport with them. He I don't know. He's so natural, but then
charismatic.
He's charismatic.
He's magnetic.
He is.
There's a better word for that, but he has that thing.
He does. He has the X factor.
Exactly. Simon Cowell would put him through to the final rounds.
Absolutely. He's got a great suit game. Like he's showing up in nice suits.
He's funny.
He's witty. He's looking good.
Yep.
And when he has to like jump in and do like play-by-play stuff, he's great. He's a natural. He really is. So
yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm just super impressed with him, and I'm glad other people seem to be impressed with him too.
Yep.
So
I'm glad that he exists.
I am glad too.
Yeah.
It's really funny because like, I don't know, 2 years ago, you were like,
oh, we have a bunch of episodes with me denying his existence.
Exactly. I'd be like, Eric Johnson, and you'd be like, who? And I'd be like, let me tell you who he is. And you're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah. And now you realize he is in fact the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Flyers, we're going to wrap up by talking about one of my favorite things that has ever happened. Trevor Zegras is back on his bullshit, and I'm so happy for him. He made the lowest budget Hulu ad ever.
The budget was not there.
It was not. It looks like it was shot on a cell phone. And in the commercial, he puts on all his hockey gear, watches sports, and then weeps over Zootopia 2. There's like a voiceover about how he's locked in because of Hulu. It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah.
You really have to see the commercial in all of his like smirky glory.
Yeah.
It's so Trevor Zegras. It's like the Trevor Zegras thing he's ever done.
Yeah, that's a hard word to say.
It is.
But,
it's not a word even, so.
Oh, it isn't? Okay. Well, yeah, no, and the ad starts out like super awkward too, like as you expect like hockey player awkward, line readings to be. Like the, Marchand and what's his face TD ad from this year.
Yes. Bennett?
Bennett. Yeah. Bennett should not be allowed.
That's the worst TD ad by far.
Absolutely. Do not let Bennett read lines, but
do not Bennett.
Do not Bennett. But yeah, it starts out kind of like that, but I don't know. It finishes on a high note and you're just like, well, that was kind of funny.
He's just so Trevor Zegras about it. Yeah. And like, the awkwardness is like part of the charm with him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, he's watching women's soccer and being like, that's a foul, like standing up on his skates.
Yep.
And, watching like English football or something and donning like a scarf for the team. And then like weeping over Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
And there are tons of amazing comments on the post. He was like tagged in Instagram on it. And there are tons of amazing comments from other hockey players, including some past and present teammates. So his roommate, Denver Barkey, posted, "This is what I left the house for," and had like a laughing emoji.
That's so funny too. Like, so that's their couch.
Yeah.
Like, the couch he's on is their couch.
No, this was like shot in their home.
I mean, it clearly was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that they didn't even like get somebody else's apartment.
Nope. It was fully just in their apartment. No. And that's great.
No, some Hulu intern really just showed up with an iPhone on a gimbal thing and was like, let's do this thing.
For sure. Travis Sanheim commented, "This can't be real." Porter Martone just left a series of king emojis.
Nice.
Always supportive Garrett Wilson. Zootopia 2 slaps.
We got to see that. We haven't.
I will not see it.
What?
I'm fine. I'm good.
We're completists.
No.
Oh.
I'm good. You can see it.
All right, fine.
I'm going to sit that one out. Former teammate Leo Carlson said, "For sure, bud." Former teammate Sam Colangelo just posted a bunch of crying emojis.
That's funny.
And then Maddie Beniers posted, "I mean, I was laughing out loud watching the entire thing." And you know what? Same, Maddie. Like,
yep.
It was delightful. And I'm glad that, in his post-playoff, time, Trevor Zegras is finding ways to entertain us.
Yeah.
By being Trevor Zegras.
Get that Hulu money.
Get that Hulu money.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe they paid him extra by saving money on like having a $0 shoot. I don't know.
No, that's just more stakeholder value right there.
No wardrobe needed.
No wardrobe.
No set needed.
Well, the pads or whatever he was wearing were definitely not like his.
They weren't branded.
They weren't like Philly pads. They were like black or something.
Yeah. I mean, they were probably like provided by whoever he has sponsorship deals with or something. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it was great. You should track it down if you haven't seen it yet, because describing it really doesn't do it justice. If you don't like Trevor Zegras, you're probably going to think it's stupid. But if you love Trevor Zegras, which is the right opinion to have, you're going to appreciate it.
And if you love Hulu, you might like it. But if you hate Hulu, you might not like it.
And if you don't have an opinion on Hulu, you're a normal person.
I have a plethora of opinions about Hulu.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that some other time.
Coming up later. Bonus content.
On our Hulu podcast. And that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at Ice is Slippery Pod. You can also email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we would love to get suggestions for games and hear your hockey hot takes. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box.